doing well. Nice to have you with us as we talked about what's going on as far as the world of sports is concerned on this Friday afternoon, the 16th day of February, the year 2018. Nice to have you with us here today with Eddie Erickson and Ray Martell. Yours truly, Christopher Russo, as we begin a broadcast day here on your favorite little Sirius sports talk channel, the great Sirius XM 82. Lots to do today. We'll spend a lot of time with your calls. I got a couple themes here to get us going, and we'll take you right up, 3 o'clock in the west, 6 o'clock in the east, as we take you on your President's Weekend home for what should be 2 or 3 days off. I got a couple things to get to. Let's start with that. It's not going to be the NBA All-Star game, I can guarantee you that. I don't think anybody cares if L.A. is a great All-Star city, which is what I see ESPN wasting our time with today. Let's start here. Two themes. I saw the Auburn-Kentucky game the other day, and there was not a seat to be had at that Auburn Coliseum in an atrocious basketball town where they were all revved up to beat Calipari and Kentucky, and Auburn continues what is a great season. I have been to Amherst a million times to see UMass, and by the way, the 96 Final Four banner is still sitting there, which has obviously been, vacated, their Final Four team. I have been around the world for college basketball my whole life, and unless we take down Krzyzewski, which would be akin to taking down Paterno over a much more serious charges, of course, does anybody care? Does anybody in America care about the FBI getting their beaks in sports again regarding college basketball assistant coaches and whether they funneled a couple of grand or $100,000 to some kid who may or may not, through their shoe company, ended up at a particular university? Does anybody care? Does anybody care? Does anybody care that FBI spent billions of dollars in resources farting around with Victor Conti, and all they got out of it essentially was a minimum security 6-month or halfway house term for Conti after they spent millions and millions of American dollars trying to investigate the steroid scenario? And it didn't really have anything to do with what in fact turned out to be a steroid policy. Jose Canseco's book had something to do with that. And that's why Congress got involved, because they read the Canseco book about all the folks that he stuck with needles with steroids. And that's why Congress got involved. That's why Bud Selig got nervous. And that's why we have a steroid plan today. Not because the FBI got Victor Conti in trouble. Does anybody in America care? I could care less. We have seen college basketball scandal for years and years and years and years and years. John Wooden cheated forever. Ever. He had that Sam Gilbert out there giving money left and right to every player known to man, and we revere him like he's essentially Gandhi with the 10 championships in the 12 years. Gandhi. And he was funneling money through his AD, preparing they didn't know anything, to everybody known to go to UCLA. And they can deny that all they want. Everybody has said that for years, and there's simple. I've heard nobody say that's not true. John Wooden had a relationship with that AD there, with that alumni guy, and they were funneling money to Lucius Allen, to everybody else, forever and ever and ever. I don't know how much. I'm not going to get involved in that, but you get the idea. Hot Rod Williams at LSU got $100,000. Hot Plate Williams ended up in the NBA. Does anybody care? Does anybody care? I don't care. Do you care? I barely care that Patino's off the map at Louisville. He's still a great coach, whether he gave $100,000 or knew about it with Brian Dozier or not. The recruit, he's still a great Hall of Fame coach from a coaching perspective, and that's what the fan cares about. So the FBI, who has got an incredible amount of manpower on this, who has an incredible amount of U.S. money, resources on this, to try to figure out what big university cheated with college basketball players and recruiting. Gee whiz, what are we surprised that some hotshot recruit who plays AAU basketball, who's 18 years of age, is being offered money to go attend a college for a year? Does anybody care? Are you going to care when, in fact, we're sitting there filling out your brackets in March, assuming, of course, that, the teams that might be under suspicion with this FBI investigation are still playing in the NCAA tournament, and it's not Tennessee Chattanooga as a 2 seed? Do you care? No, you do not. You will watch the games I will watch the games, and every fan in America will watch the games, and they will continually storm courts and do all the things that fans do in all these little university towns across America because that's what kids want to do. They will storm the court at Michigan State, and Michigan State's got bigger problems. They will storm the court at Auburn. They will storm the court at Kansas. They will storm the court, the whole world. And by the way, Barry Bonds, for all the FBI juice with the steroid thing, is going to have his number retired this year on August 11th in San Francisco. And by the way, 56% on a Hall of Fame scenario. Half the people don't care who vote for the Hall of Fame. Does anybody care? In the meantime, the FBI, founded by J. Edgar Hoover, not exactly a bastion of credibility, the FBI somehow, some way, fell on their ass. Maybe because they're fooling around with some dopey agent and some middlemen and had two leads. Two. One in Miami threw on January 5th, and a posting that somebody in Mississippi told them about. They had two leads to stop this Parkland shooting here and admitted today in a statement, we blew it. Well, I got an idea for the FBI. That's 17 people dead. I got the idea for the FBI. Why doesn't the FBI take some of the resources and the manpower that they're wasting everybody's time with? Because I'm telling you, the American sports fan doesn't care. Why don't they take those resources that they are floating around with all these, with Chuck Person in Arizona? Nobody cares. Why don't we take some of those men and resources and American taxpayer dollars? Why don't we take that money and try to do a better job of getting leads that evidently was staring you in the face regarding Nicholas Cruz? Why do we worry about that today? Don't you think that might be a little bit more important? How they, in fact, had social media accounts, tips from people, erratic behavior, this guy's nuts, blah, 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 blah. And the FBI somehow, some way did not pass it down to its Miami office. Were they looking at Jim Larinaga at the Miami campus instead of floating around and making sure we get this guy locked up? Before 17 people were murdered in 6 minutes in cold blood in some high school? How about that? They're going to storm the court. College basketball is going to recover. They are not going to take down Krzyzewski. And that's the only person people cares about anyway. What, are you going to care if Bruce Pearl gets in trouble for the 9-man time? What if Rick Pitino? You going to care? Rick's playing golf every day. He don't care. He's in the Hall of Fame already. He got embarrassed a little bit, but he's in the Hall of Fame. Boeheim cares. He's 80 years old. He's got a court named after him. Think he cares? Think the Syracuse fan cares? You think the Syracuse fan wants to take back the championship against Kansas because maybe something went wrong with Carmelo Anthony? You think they care? Anybody care? Somebody has to explain to me. Somebody has to explain to me as an American citizen how the FBI, that is floating around in areas that they really shouldn't be floating around in. They wasted everybody's time with steroids and literally nothing happened. Jose Canseco's book happened. Victor Conte had his little plant shut down, made a fortune, and went to a minimum security prison for about a week. That's all that happened. And now this scenario with what do you think, Chuck Person's going to jail for 30 years? There's 17 people dead in a high school in Florida. A lot of reasons for that. A lot of reasons. But the reasons had a chance to be prevented if the FBI did its job in this particular case, and they did not. They did not. And that's what the FBI should be worried about today. Not worrying about talking to some judge in Lower Manhattan. Who gives a crap? Oh, God, get away, will you please? My goodness, this has been going on forever. Young kid, no money. This is a victimless crime. Anybody get hurt, by the way, with Brian Dozier getting $100,000? Now, it doesn't. You can make an argument that if you run a clean program, you are at a disadvantage compared to, say, Louisville. If the kid had gotten to Louisville and nothing had occurred, and he didn't get in trouble, and Patino didn't get fired. But in the big course of life, is there anybody who actually gets physically harmed by what goes on with these AAU coaches and middlemen and Jew companies and everything else? It's been dirty forever. It's going to be dirty again. This is not shaving points. This is not CCNY in the early 50s. Okay, it's not that. This is not the 1919 Black Sox scandal. It's about a poor, underprivileged kid who got $100,000 to maybe go to a school. He's not the first. The school's not the only one. And this is going to go on long after the FBI makes it sound like they did their job. Here's what I want to tell the FBI. Go do your work and make sure I don't have some 19-year-old jerk who's got snakes in his head run into a Dick's Sporting Goods store or a rifle place, buy 9 million rifles, which is another argument altogether. Post it on media, tell people that he's going to basically be a professional school shooter, and you do nothing about it. The blood is on a lot of hands in Parkland. It's also in Washington with the FBI. 15 after the hour, we continue. Mad Dog Unleashed.